going from the previous year having a really good defense and kind of being a team that couldn't stop a run.
Yes, this isn't being human being. This is called business corruption. This is another thing of human life that goes on around the world. The corruption of business, the slave labor, the trafficking in human life. How do we stop it? By the government stop it. Tax everything they come in. I mean, tax it as high as you can tax it. So they stop the slave labor overseas. Slave labor is a big part of sex trade and slave labor, are a big part of inhumanity, poverty, suffering. When you make a person suffer, work for $1 a day, nah, it's not right. It's not human. It's not even, it's inhuman. It's loss of poverty. Slave labor and sex trafficking are two of the lowest forms of things you can do in human life. You can kids selling soccer balls for prescriptions. This stuff goes on all over the world. It's a failure of human life, fact of human life. It really is sad that we slave labor in human life. It really is. It's not right. It's corrupt, and no government should allow people to practice slave labor in their country. China, you just don't do things like this. You're using kids, you're using children, you're using people who need to make a living. This is what I mean by the voice of corruption, voice of business and slave labor. It's what it's all about. It's what this site is all about. The human being, the poverty. Poverty is fed by slave labor, sex trade, and all that other garbage. They use us human beings, poor people, like we're just throwaways. It's the sickness of human life, the sickness of humanity. And it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. And it's not going to end. Because it's the sadness of human life that they practice it. Nobody in this country should be allowed to slave labor, even Mitt Romney. Guy runs for president, but he slave labors this business overseas so he can make money. More money. When's enough money? When you got $70 million or $100 million, when's enough money? When's enough money? Like Warren Buffett wants to give away $1 billion to March Madness, but he won't give away $1 billion to the people of poverty. Same thing. Business corruption is a big cause of poverty. Business corruption is a big feeding of poverty. Because people are working for nothing, and this is done all over the world. Unfair labor, unfair practice, unsafe labor is another thing. Toxic factories, other stuff. This is the sadness of human life. It just really is. This is why we need the voices and the views. Stop the corruption of business, slave labor, sex trade. That's what all these videos and all these shows are about. It's the trash they do to the human poverty people. And that's the sadness of human life. That's the sadness of human life. That we live in a world that lives in slave labor and sex trade, business corruption. That's what it's all about. That's what the voices and views are all about. Finding, stopping, putting an end to it, getting this government to put an end to it. And that's the human thing. Stay tuned for my shows tomorrow. I thought I'd do some videos. But this human corruption and slave labor has to stop. And it's huge. It's a big practice. It's done in India. It's done in Taiwan. It's done in China. It's done in several other nations around the world. But this is what's going to stop. This is what the show is all about. Making a human life for the people of poverty. And that's what the show is all about. I promise you. That's what the show is all about. And that's what the voices and the views are all about. Ending the practice of corrupt business, slave labor, and sex trade. This is a 7 billion human being for the 5 billion people in human poverty. The 7 billion human being channel. Thank you for watching. This is Mike Carvel, voice of the people, voice for the people, by the people, of the people. Thank you.